Folks, if the BRT is good for London, I would be the first to say let's go after it with all our might. But I have read the documents and I looked at the numbers and I thought these are a stretch in the imagination. They're not realistic. The Richmond Street Tunnel. Remember the tunnel? It was presented to us as a $90 million sure thing by the City Hall. They said we can take it to the bank. It's a done thing. There's enough contingency there that 90 million done. Guaranteed. But it took the citizens of London, the engineers who are retired, the citizens who live and work along Richmond Street to say, your numbers are wrong. And it took them a long time before City Hall actually said, you know what, you're right. We're not right at all. 90 million is not the right number. It's $230 million. 2.5 times what they told us. If they can make a mistake this grand, do we trust any of the numbers they tell us as take it to the bank? I say no. We as a city are not scared to spend $500 million or $1 billion. If it takes that money to improve our infrastructure in London, we must do it. But at the end of 500 million, $1 billion, at the end of 20 years of construction, our city will still face the one problem that the city does not want to address. And that is the railroad tracks. At the end of 500 million or billion, when the train comes across on that track, across Adelaide, Coburn, Waterloo, and Richmond, what happens to all those rapid buses? They have to stop. 5 minutes is 1, 10 minutes will be 2, 15 minutes, 3 buses, but it's not just 3, it's 6 buses, 3 on either side. So at the end of 20 years and say $1 billion in construction, what changed? Nothing. The buses will still have to stop for the unscheduled trains across the tracks. That's why I think the BRT has other areas that we need to look at before digging up the road and moving the buses from one side of the road to the middle of the road. We must address Adelaide Street crossing. There's 2 tracks there. That is the lowest hanging fruit we have in our city. We must address that, get that built first. Do we need better roads and better transportation system? Of course we do, absolutely. But the BRT, the way it's laid out, doesn't serve all Londoners. It serves a very specific route, a very specific group. If you live in Killaley, Pond Mills, Lambeth, Hyde Park, nothing will change. But we will be paying for it for decades as taxpayers. Right now, we are deficient in the industrial areas and many parts of London. So at the end of this $500 million, $1 billion project, we are still underserved in many areas. So we need to service all Londoners. When we spend the money, let's make it user-friendly for the subdivisions, for the industrial areas, for the students, and for the residential areas, so that we all have reliable and easy access for public transportation system. The BRT is supposed to be a plan that is set in stone. Done deal. Everything's looked after. 13,000 people came to the consultation process, 100 meetings. But to this day, we still don't know if Western will close the bridge to the BRT buses or not. When this whole thing starts and all the roads are tore up, do we know they'll go through Western or will they not go through Western? We still don't know. The BRT is flawed, fundamentally flawed. Unless and until we address the transportation, the railroad system, nothing is rapid or reliable. The powers that be right now that are pushing the BRT project, they don't want to look at that. They say we don't want to look at that, but see how beautiful this whole thing will be at the end of 10 years. See how beautiful the roads will be. But my thought is, at the end of 10, 20 years, no matter how beautiful the roads are, we still have a flawed, a defective transportation road system. We have to address the bus bays. We have to address the better road system in London. Thank you.